I'm excited for
Well, hey, everybody. How's everybody doing? How are you doing? We're so excited that you're here with us. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Myrina.
I'm Tristan.
I'm Phoenixx.
I'm Crimson.
And we are known collectively as, we're Swinky Life. Tristan and I have the Accidental Swingers podcast. And then also, if you have been to Naughty New Orleans at all, you may recognize us from being at the event. But last year, we were crowned the kings and queens of Naughty New Orleans. So we actually didn't wear our crowns tonight. Maybe we will on the next live stream. I think it's a little presumptuous or a little ostentatious to come on with crowns on. But
I don't know. I kind of like the bling.
Yeah, digging the bling.
Yeah, I'm digging the bling.
So we're so excited that you're here with us tonight. We love this event very, very much. We love going to Naughty New Orleans, and it's become our yearly kind of what's the word? Not
well,
retreat,
I would say pilgrimage, but that might be a little sacrilegious. But for us, it actually is. So let's just roll with that, right?
So it's kind of our pilgrimage then that we take every year. One of the ones, but it has become an definite annual event for us. And so we love this event, and we really wanted to come on and explain and talk a little bit about Naughty New Orleans itself, what it's like, especially for folks who haven't been before, or maybe you are new this year for the first time, you're already planning on going, or you've been before and you didn't see everything that you wanted to see, or you wanted to get a little bit more information about it. So we decided to come on and do some live streams with you guys and talk a little bit about the event itself, and then answer any of your questions that you might have about Naughty New Orleans, how it works, how the event runs, and things like that. So I'm very excited to also let you guys know, if you don't know, I also happen to be what is affectionately called the Naughty Headmistress. So I work with Naughty events now and help with the education portion of the event. So I kind of have an inside scoop too, so I can tell you some things that are pretty cool. And as a special guest, hiding in our chat group is one of my coworkers as well. And so we've got all the skinny in the scoop for you about Naughty New Orleans and everything that's going to be going on this year. So let's get started.
Okay.
All
right.
So this will be the 26th year. Last year was the 25th anniversary of Naughty New Orleans. So this is the 26th year. I will let you know, if you have never been, I want to talk about a few minutes about what Naughty is like for folks who have never been to the event before, or if you're wondering what the event is like. By the way, you're more than welcome to put questions and comments in the chat, and then we will try and catch those as we go through. So, and we'll save most of the questions though for the end. So if it's something that's important about the process or the event or things like that, if you just kind of hold it to the end, we'll be able to answer all those questions. I also am I'm on private chat. So if you can click over to comments, that would be helpful so we can see those. Thank you. All right. Thank you. There we go. Yeah. Thanks. Perfect. Thank you. So let's talk about, so we have, Tristan and I have been to Naughty New Orleans. This will be our fifth time.
18, 19. Yeah, our fifth.
This will be our fifth trip. And you guys have been?
Six.
Yeah, I think it's 6 for you guys.
Six. Yeah.
So we've been for quite a few years, and I think what's important to know, and you'll have to excuse me if I'm checking my phone because somebody might be texting me important information while we're talking about this. So what we were talking about for explaining things to you guys and how the event works is that, if you may or may not know, so that Naughty New Orleans is one of the biggest swinger events in the country every year. And last year we had about 2,600 people. So there were about 1,300 couples that attended the event. It's a very large event. Last year we sold out 2 hotels with a third hotel that we had folks get rooms in. The same thing will happen this year. The hotels that we use are this year going to be the Astor, the Crown Astor, which is right there in the heart of the French Quarter, on the corner, literally, of Bourbon and Canal. And that's kind of the big hotel. And then we have a fabulously wonderful. I call it a more boutique-y hotel because I don't really know a better way to say that. But it's just a really kind of really cool boutique-y hotel called the Nopsi, Nopsi, and that's our second venue this year that we're having. And the nice thing about the Nopsi and the Astor are having the event at both of the places. So people can stay at either hotel and you have access to both places. So just because you're staying at one hotel doesn't mean you can't go to the other. As a matter of fact, we expect people to go back and forth all the time. We will have shuttle buses running back and forth for you so that you don't even have to walk, but it's really not a far walk. It's about a maybe 10-minute walk, about 5 blocks-ish. Up and down. And so the event will be happening concurrently at both hotels. And so everything that is at one hotel, there will be almost a mirror image at the other one, except for the Astor's a little bit of a bigger hotel. So there'll be the parties that we have in the evenings. They'll be a little bit bigger in the sense of there'll be 2 different parties. There'll be one at the Nopsi. And again, what we're super excited about is people being able to go back and forth and finding the place that suits you for the evening. So so there's gonna be a lot going on, and there's a lot of opportunity to take care of or to be at both of those places.
I mean, and that's the beauty of it, is you literally get 2 different events all rolled into one, and you can attend both. You can mix and match, which I'm really excited about.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't really take advantage of it that much last year, but we intend to this year. In the Nopsi, we did, visit it last year. It's a gorgeous hotel.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So is the Astor, but the Nopsi is a really, really
It's beautiful,
neat boutique hotel.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I wanted to kind of talk about it though, as so the event itself and how it all works. And we're just going to kind of run through it a little bit and then spend time answering your questions. So the event itself, as we said, is about 2,600 people. Starts on Wednesday, June 26th this year. A lot of times it's in July. It's normally in July. This year we got bumped up a little bit, and that we start on Wednesday. A lot of people will come in a little bit early to kind of get the lay of the land, or you're going to be in New Orleans, you might as well enjoy it. So folks do come in early, but the event officially starts on Wednesday, and then it runs through till Sunday. And so can you guys talk about a little bit about the different things that we have that's available during the days during the event?
Yeah, for me, it's bar takeovers. Also education.
Yes.
Yes.
And,
Classes are very
but yeah, the classes are amazing. We're teaching classes this year, as we have the last 2 years. So it's a great opportunity to make the event whatever it is that you want out of the event. You can mix and match lots of different things, not just the 2 hotels, but within each of the hotels, you can have whatever experience you want. I mean, there's a full slate of education at both hotels. There are 2 bar takeovers in a 3 o'clock slot, 2 bar noon to 3, and then 3 to 6. So each day there are 4 bar takeovers, and which means that you can only get into these bars if you are part of our event and have your lanyard and your credentials. So you're in a bar with our folks.
All the naughty New Orleans.
Yeah, the naughty New Orleans tribe.
All the naughty New Orleans.
And let me tell you, bars in New Orleans are fun to begin with, but then when you select down into just our swinger crew, it's a lot of fun. And so for me, I mean, I like to mix and match. I love the education, but I also love the bar takeovers because that's where you meet the people and that's where you make the connections, and it's just so much fun. So during the day, those are our things.
And in addition to the educational tracks, the things that we've really enjoyed the most, or I've really enjoyed the most anyway, are the interactive activities. So a couple of examples near and dear to my heart: naked speed dating, absolutely top of my list. And through the years, there have been several variations on group massage classes. Those are always a lot of fun too. Those are just 2 examples, but they always have several events like that. And that's a really good opportunity to meet a lot of people. You're kind of forced to have a little one-on-one time with them. You get to be face-to-face and actually talk to them outside of the big party, 10,000 people around you atmosphere. And so it's a good place to connect with people, which we've successfully done a couple times through the years.
So yeah, and the what is there anything else? You were going to add anything? Sorry, I thought I cut you off.
No, you're
Oh,
good.
sorry. So when you come to the event, we have every day, as Tristan and Phoenixx were just saying. So every day has different activities that are going on. There during the daytime, we have the education and the bar takeovers, and then during the evening, we have different meet and greets, meetups. A lot of times, we'll do kind of icebreaker meet and greets, things like that as well. We're working on doing some of those, being a little bit creative with some of those this year to help folks kind of get to know each other beforehand or before the event really kind of kicks off. And then at nighttime, we have our dance parties, the themed dance music and all that kind of good stuff. Always a theme for every single night. And you can dress up. I will always tell people this, you can dress up or as down or as little as you want. It's just kind of like anything. If you've ever been to most lifestyle places or things, there will be people who are dressed to the nines, and then there'll be folks who are wearing just regular party clothes. It doesn't really matter. So it's as comfortable as you want to make it for yourself. So if you love dressing up and you love those theme nights, then that is absolutely the time to do it. There'll be people totally decked out. And if you don't, that's okay too, because there'll be people that are just more comfortable. That's the thing one of the many things that we love about Naughty New Orleans is that it really is up to you to make it what you want to make it.
And I'm somebody who has evolved over the years from 2018, where
Yeah.
I didn't dress up for anything. There was no themes for me, to now I'm like, all right, what are the themes? What are the themes? I've kind of gotten a little into it
Just a
over
little,
the years. Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
It is. It is.
Yeah, and I think that that one of the things also that that people enjoy is, again, I'm trying to go back to the thought that you can really make whatever it is, however you want to make the event, you can make it for yourself. So if you enjoy the educational pieces, if you enjoy going to some of these workshops and classes and doing some of these hands-on things, there's a ton of things that are available for you to do. If you want to do the bar takeovers, there's things to do. If you just want to go out and visit the quarter, that's something else that you can do. You don't have to hang around the hotel. There's plenty to do in New Orleans. I think people sometimes worry that they come and they're going to be there for that many days. And what do we do? And will it be easy to get around? And will it be comfortable to be there without knowing anybody? And we always tell folks that you're a stranger for about an hour, maybe, until you get to your first event and start to meet people. Plus, there's tons of ways to get involved and meet folks before you even go. And we're going to talk about some of those as well. Mm-hmm. But I think one thing to kind of put everybody at ease is that when you go to New Orleans, if you haven't been to New Orleans before, if you haven't been to this event during the summertime, it's a great event. It's a great time of year to be there. It's hot. Not gonna lie, it is hot and it can be sweaty and sticky. Yep. But it's very easy to get around. It's very easy to navigate. We often walk around 2:00 in the morning, and it's not uncomfortable. It doesn't. You have to be aware, but you're not safe. It's there's
always a group of people.
There's always people walking around. There's just always stuff going on. So we have run into very few problems or issues, and we're up and walking and being out all the time.
Yeah,
so
we've had 5 a.m. walks of shame, or pride, however you choose to look at it, and have always felt safe.
Yeah, we really, really have. So I just kind of wanted to point that out about feeling safe and secure in New Orleans itself. That then lends into kind of talking about the safety at the event and talking about how the event is run itself and how important consent is.
Yes.
So anybody else want to chime in? Somebody else talk. Love you guys.
You talk about consent.
You can talk about consent.
All right, I'll talk about consent. I was going to go for the flip side, but I will still anyway. Okay, so consent is something that's near and dear to our heart. We actually talk about it a lot in a variety of contexts. But as far as coming to Naughty, for the swinger community, I would say you should expect, and the staff there will also expect, that you up your consent game just a little bit. It's a really sensitive topic. If you want to get to know someone, meet them, engage with them in any way, just be clear about your intentions and what you would like, and then accept whatever answer you get back graciously. No means no. Actually, anything other than hell yes means no.
Right.
And, everyone expects everyone else to respect that. The staff has been, trained and advised, and they're always on the lookout. But there are 2,000 people there, and no one can keep an eye on everyone all at once. So please be respectful of everyone. And remember, just because you played with someone last night does not mean they want to play with you tonight. You need to get consent each time, every time, especially at an event like this. A lot of people will come into the event with a lot of energy and enthusiasm, and by the end of the week, they're kind of slower and more tired. So, again, just because you played with them a couple days ago doesn't mean they're interested right now. I'm going to step outside of consent and talk about my other favorite topic at the same time, though, which is empowerment. Consent is may I. Empowerment is no, you may not, or yes, you may. And in all of our travels and all these conversations, we have these a lot. One of the big things that we continually see is that people, and especially ladies, and I'm not trying to be sexist, but they feel disempowered in that moment. They feel like they don't have the power to say no when that's what they really want to say. And I would encourage everyone to empower yourselves as much as possible. If you're in a situation and you don't feel comfortable there, in a loud voice, get people's attention and say no. You are empowered to make your own choices. You should never at this event feel like you're doing something that you really don't want to do. There's too much stuff that you do want to do. That's my 2 cents worth.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, and so speaking about that, and we bring that up always. We always will bring up consent. We'll always talk about consent because it is incredibly important, and you'll see signs about it everywhere, and we talk about it often. So just be aware of it, that you're going to hear about it a lot, and that's a really good thing. It's a really good thing to talk about. So you'll hear all your presenters talking about it. You'll see T-shirts, you'll see signs, you'll see posters, because we just want everybody to remember that it's important to ask. So it's important to get that consent. But speaking of consent, so let's talk about one of the main things that people go to Naughty New Orleans for, the playrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the playrooms, there will be playrooms at the Astor and there will be playrooms at the Nopsey. So there will be playrooms at both venues. Again, you guys can take advantage of both places. You'll be able to go to either place, whichever one you want. Try both. That'll be great. We will even also have some daytime playroom hours as well. So keep an eye, if you're coming, you'll keep an eye on the schedule for when those are available. But the playrooms themselves, I think it's really fun to talk about those because there's a lot of, if you've never been to Naughty New Orleans, it's hard to kind of talk about what the playrooms are like until you've been there. Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard to explain it. And so, what we do is we transform an entire second floor of the Astor into play space. And so there are many different arrangements, and we like to try different things. There's an entire room that's the toy room that has a lot of different toys that people can actually go in and try. Mm-hmm. There is the group room, where there are a lot of beds that are all put together. And
my favorite.
Yeah. There's nothing like lying there and just hearing everybody have sex, and it's just amazing.
It can be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
It can be a lot of fun, yes. So I forget how many beds are in there, but there's a lot of beds, and there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of bodies, and there's a lot of energy, and it's amazing. It's a lot of fun. So we have the group room. We also have some themed rooms. There are some more rooms that are a little bit more quiet, so that if the group room is not your bag, you can still go up to the playrooms, and there are some quieter areas that have just a few beds in them, so there may only be like 6 other couples in the entire room. So a smaller space. We have some, depending on how we end up decorating them, there's usually one that's all white and beautifully lit with lights and things. And what am I forgetting? Oh, there's the dark room.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's also the +1 room.
Yeah, semi-private, the Tantra room, which is, a little more sensual, which I love.
Yep. can't remember what the other ones are. But there's a
More
lot.
of a semi-private room.
Yeah.
The dungeon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's not upstairs. That's not in the playrooms yet.
Oh, that's
We're just
true.
talking
Yeah.
just
I think
playrooms
it's
right
up
now.
there,
Yeah,
yeah.
just playrooms. So the way that the playrooms work, just so that you know, anybody can go. So the hotel is a takeover. So there's nobody in the hotel that doesn't belong in the hotel. So both hotels are completely takeover. You cannot come in without a badge. So there is nobody that's coming into the playroom floor that doesn't actually belong there. So I want people to understand that first. The second thing that we do is when you come to the playroom floor, you cannot be in street clothes. So you need to be in some kind of lingerie, or guys can be in boxer shorts or things like that. And the reason behind that, if you think about it, is again, it's almost a safety issue, because then nobody's walking around in street clothes and everybody knows that you're not coming in off the street. So you've got your sexy gear on, and the playroom floor is very dimly lit. There's a lot of amazing energy that goes on. The vibe is just fantastic. And usually the playrooms, like I said, there are daytime hours during the day, 3 or 4 hours that it's open during the day. Actually, Tristan and I, if you ever listened to one of our episodes, talk about the first time we played. Yeah, we played in the playrooms. We didn't want to go in the group room, and it was very, for us, it was very nerve-wracking that year and very hard. And we didn't think we'd be able to really concentrate.
I didn't think I was going to be
well,
able
or me too. I didn't know. And so we went during the day and had a little fun by ourselves. Actually, there were a couple other couples that were in there.
Yeah, it was in a semi-private area, and so there were people around us having sex, but there were curtains, and so we had a little bit of privacy, but it was kind of the best of both worlds. You had the energy of having people around you.
You could still hear everything.
But you could still hear, but we were in our own little bubble, which was really nice. And so that kind of got the ball rolling for us on the second day. By the next night, we were a little more adventuresome, and by the next year, we were.
Yeah, it took us a year.
That's when we met you guys.
Yeah.
Wheels
came
We're the
off.
troublemaker.
Yeah, wheels came off then.
But we just played, and we found the space and the place that was right for us.
Yeah, the point being, you can make it what you want, and you can find your comfort level, and ease in, or if you want to jump in, you can do whatever you want.
The other thing that's important to remember is that you don't have to play in playrooms.
Right.
They're there for fun. They're there for you to be there if you want to be there. There are many people that don't play in the playrooms. They play in their room, their own room. That's totally fine. That's what it's all about. Again, it's about you doing you in the way that makes you guys feel great. And so, is there anything else about the playroom? So the playroom, daytime hours, and then at night the playroom opens at 11. And closes at 3. Yes, closes at 3.
Except the last night, which we learned the hard way. Yeah, they close at 2 on the last night. We were just getting started.
Yeah, each night they will do a tour. Or is it just the one?
It's the first night they'll do a tour. Wednesday night, the playrooms, they do a tour at 10 p.m. So you'll be able to go and do an actual tour. All the lights are on. You can see, you can be wearing your street clothes. It is legitimately just a tour of the playroom area and all the different playrooms. So we highly, highly recommend that. What a lot of times, what we will be doing also so this is more an informational call about what the event is like, answering your questions if you have any, about what happens, how it goes on. What we do as we get a little bit closer, we also do these calls for people who've actually signed up and are actually attending Naughty in New Orleans and going. And so then we get on the call and we talk about, okay, here's the things that you want to pack, you want to do, you want to make sure you take this, you want to make sure you do that. Here's a way you meet these people, here's a way you meet those people. So we talk about all of those things with folks once they're already actually going. It's a little bit overwhelming to try and do that with you guys if you haven't decided if you're going to attend or not. So, but I think I wanted to let you know that because we have a big support system with folks that are attending, and we realize, we're all there. Most of us are all there for the same reason. We are non-monogamous and we want to meet other people that are like-minded. And so we offer a lot of opportunities. Naughty Events offers a lot of opportunities to be able to meet people even before you go. So there's an option once you sign up to go to Naughty New Orleans. We offer a Naughty membership. I believe it's a 1-month membership. That's a free membership, but within that Naughty members membership are people that are actually going to Naughty in New Orleans. So you can get into that membership group and actually start to talk to and meet people that are attending the event. We do that often with our podcast listeners. We do a
Yeah.
group that if any of our podcast listeners are heading to Naughty in New Orleans, we all get everybody together and we start to meet and talk before we even go, like 2 months out, so that we're starting to getting to know people before we even get there. That way, when folks show up, they already know people. They've met people. They've met them online. They've been chatting with them. So that's one of the ways that we highly advocate for folks to get comfortable with going and get comfortable in meeting people before you even go. So there's a lot of opportunities to do that. If you don't want to show up and not know anybody, you don't have to. Even if you're the only people that you know that are going, there are other people. There are 2,599 other couples, people going. And so they're there and we can connect you and hook you up. So
It'll be hard not to meet people.
yes,
Just-
yes,
Right.
that is true. That is true. I'm trying to check and see if there's anything else about the playrooms. You are also, so we talked about you can't be wearing street clothes. So you can be wearing your lingerie or things like that. You can take bags with you into the playroom. So just know you can take all your goodies, your toys, whatever you need with you. And there's check-in when you come in and everybody, just to make sure everybody's good and things like that. So it's very safe. You also are more than welcome to just kind of go to the playroom floor and hang out. You don't even have to play. It's okay to be a voyeur.
Oh, it's awfully okay to be a voyeur. If I'm in there, come watch. It's all good.
Some
Likes to
people
put a
like
show
yeah.
on.
Some people like the exhibitioner side. Some people like the voyeur side, and you can do both.
Some of us cross over. Yeah.
And so I think that's important for you to realize too, that you don't even have to. You can totally go up there, feel the sexy vibe, the energy, whatever that is for you, and then leave if the playing there doesn't strike your fancy, doesn't suit you. We have a dear friend that that's not it's not their bag. They just don't necessarily enjoy that environment, and it's totally fine. So we play other ways. We play at other places, but yeah, so you don't have to always use the playrooms is kind of what I'm getting out from there. There are, let me think if there's other things I really wanted to talk about in here. One other thing we did want to talk about is that, again, the event itself, we talk about it, you'll hear us say it often, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what does that mean?
You're going to need to get rest at some point.
Sleep.
So when you have a chance, take a nap.
It also means really be careful about regulating your alcohol intake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we talk about that in episode 8 of our podcast, where one of us, and it wasn't me for
For the once
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, we had to get out and rehydrate and fuel up with food, and so just be aware of hydration with actual water, and be aware of your hydration in other ways, and just make sure that you're not overindulging too quickly, and pace yourself. The other thing is that the food in New Orleans is amazing, and you can very quickly find yourself unable to move just from food. You throw alcohol on top of that, and a lack of sleep, and lots and lots of sex. You can, by day 2 or 3, you can hit a wall.
Yeah.
By the end of day 1, you can hit a wall if you're not careful. If you overindulge. So just be aware and be careful and pace yourself.
Right.
We always like to go a day early and stay a day late just to decompress. You get there, you're all excited. So you just want to kind of get used to it and throw off all the work vibes and just get into vacation mode. And then after the event, just to sort of, if you want to go sightsee, you can. And that's the time you just decompress and spend some time together and talk about all the fun that you had.
And that's a great point, because even now, after 5 trips, it takes me until like Thursday or Friday to kind of get out of my regular world and into this world. And I'm trying to get better at that every year. But it's hard for me to divorce myself from my professional life and just immerse myself where I want to be, which is at this event. And so, to the extent that you can go earlier and kind of get that process started earlier, that's good advice.
Yeah.
Somebody asked if
Yeah.
there was a bar at the playrooms. No.
Looks like
Yeah.
Karina. Yep.
Yep,
Karina asked,
thank
is there a
you.
bar at the playrooms? Thank you, Karina,
Yeah,
for asking a
thank
question.
you.
Whoop, whoop. Brownie points to Karina. No, there's not a
There's
bar
not.
at the playrooms, Karina. So, but what I will tell you, and the other thing too, I'm glad you actually mentioned or asked that question. So, so there's no alcohol sold in the playrooms. And if you are overserved, the playroom attendees have the right to ask you not to play in the playroom until you're not overserved. So if you know that can happen as well. So just be aware of that. But Karina, there's the bar downstairs is actually in the Astor there, and actually in the Nazi, there's bars downstairs. And we will have, the other point I was trying to make is that the playrooms are not the only thing that there is at night. So in the Astor, we actually have a piano bar area set up. It's a little bit quieter, a jazz bar kind of area that stays rocking until sometimes earlier. I think it's supposed to shut down and people still stay in there and they're just having a great time. So at the Astor, that's down on the first floor. So you don't even have to go up into the playrooms. Of course, the dance parties are going on. The bars are open at the dance parties. I think they're open until midnight. And so, and then there is the bars within the hotels themselves. And of course, it's New Orleans. So there's plenty of opportunity to get anything that you want. And then, but yeah, so there's also, like I said, so there's also piano bars that are going to be going on in the lobby. Both hotels will have some kind of a piano bar, kind of a quiet, a little bit of a different vibe than the kind of the dance music vibe. So, so thank you for asking that question, though. We appreciate it. And, oh, thank you. Thank you, our fabulous producer behind the scenes. So May and Ivan, typically the clubs we've been to don't allow phones in. What is the phone and recording rules? We have not covered that. So thank you for asking. I'm going to say, and my coworker that is listening also, I don't know that we have anything specific in the sense that you can take your phone with you into the playroom. Am I correct?
I don't know about that.
I'll have to double check that one. That's a really good question.
Certainly,
we've just never,
you're
not taking it out.
Yeah, you can't walk around.
You can't
record. You
You
can't walk around. You cannot record. If you're talking about in the actual playrooms themselves, so you wouldn't be able to do that. If you're talking about during the day and stuff like that, you can do, we often talk about, and it will be all over the place, about making sure if you're taking pictures, don't take pictures with other people in the background, that kind of stuff. Just be aware of what's in your what's behind you. You don't want to accidentally get somebody that doesn't want to be in your picture in your photo. But I appreciate that question, and I'm gonna look into that a little bit more to get the exact guidelines. I know we have them written down somewhere. It's just I never take my phone with me when I'm there, so I don't know that I ever really thought about it.
I'm fairly certain that it's in the paperwork that we sign.
You sign when you get
on
in.
the way in.
Yeah. So
and there is a strict policy, and we just don't ever take our phone. So
So May and Ivan, if that is something that you really need to know, you can reach out to me anytime, Myrina@accidentalswingers.com. And
Kendra answered.
Oh, good, Kendra. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There you go. So no phones are allowed on the playroom floor. However, during the event, you're welcome to take pictures. We have selfie booths and other designated areas. Thank you, Kendra. That's my coworker.
And that's consistent with what we see at other events.
Yeah.
That in play areas, no,
It's
of
just
course
being
not.
considerate of everybody.
But there are designated areas.
Right. Thank you. So Bruce is asking, is there enough room to move around in the playroom if you are a wheelchair user? Yes, Bruce, there is. There are some areas that are easier than others, and we actually can have folks, if you let us know, we can have folks that can help you with that too as well. So just let us know. So there you go.
Oh yeah, we have a friend, in fact, who
who is wheelchair bound, and he attends the event. So there you go.
And he has a blast every year.
So we see quite a few people. Russell's asking, what is the general age range that attend? Is it predominantly couples? Yes, it definitely is predominantly couples, Russell. That is really kind of the event is set up that way. There are some singles that will come, but it is 98% 8% couples, I would say, practically. And then what was the other part of the question? Oh, the age range. You know, it really it runs the gamut.
Yeah,
I would say
does.
what would you say?
20s,
27 to 70?
70s, yeah. I think that the middle of the bell
Definitely,
curve is kind of in our age range, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
40s,
40s, and 50s.
30s. Yeah, I was 40, 50, 60, but probably more in our age range, which is like late 40s, early 50s.
Although there are definitely,
But that's all over the place.
definitely
Yeah.
younger folks.
Yeah.
There, I mean, there's definitely, it really does.
There were people in our community last year who were in their early 20s,
Mm-hmm.
and there are this year also.
Right.
So
Right. Let's see. Bruce is asking,
How high?
how high are the beds?
Kendra said they're around
26
26 to 30 off the floor.
Thank you,
Thank
Kendra. Yeah. They are not huge. They are not huge on bed frames. They are basically, if you think about the size, I would say 2 mattresses. It's like a box spring and a mattress size, although it's a small frame with a mattress on top. So like a camp bed, I would say, not super high. Grayson says, I seem to remember you put together a Florida group that is going so we can meet people ahead of time. Is there plans to put a Florida group or other state together? So thank you for asking, Grayson. So yes. So what I did the first couple of years that we went to Naughty New Orleans, which has become a tradition, is that I didn't want to go and not know anybody. So I literally scoured the SDC, I think it was SDC profiles to see who said they were going to Naughty New Orleans. And I sent everyone an email and say, hey, did you guys want to be in a kick group with me? And
Aren't you glad we said yes?
And so we started that kind of tradition.
Mhm.
So what we do now, Grayson, is we still do one absolutely we do it now kind of more, like I said, leads towards our podcast listeners. You're more than welcome to join that group. We also join with the Naughty members that I was telling you about earlier. A great way to meet folks through the Naughty members website. And then you can search them by where they live. And so you can reach out to people, and we highly advocate that. The reason I did it for Florida folks is because I wanted to meet people that I felt like if we connected, Tristan and I were like, if we connect with people, we don't want to meet people that are only in California or something. We'll never see them for another year. So we thought we would connect with the Floridians in the group to see that way our chances of connecting again before the next year, if we really hit it off, were better if they lived close by. So that's why we did that. But there are tons of ways, and we will be hosting some calls like that. We will be doing them on the Naughty members platform as well. And we'll be doing some live streams like this as well. And then we do some within our community, like I said, with our podcast listeners. So if you're one of our listeners and you want to join our group, we're happy to do that too. Just shoot me an email and we'll tell you how to do all that. So were you going to add something?
Oh, I was just going to say, how did that work out for you?
What, having
The getting to know people before you got there so that you can reconnect with them.
I think it worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Seems to.
Yeah. Well, some people blew us off the first year.
No.
And then
That's a much bigger story.
I'm just saying, some people blew us off the first year, and luckily they were smart the second year.
Well, at least I'm smart.
Yes. I'm handsome. I find you handsome. Let's see. And then Bruce says, is there a room? Oh, thank you. Is there a room where there is male-to-male contact? There is a room. I think they call it the by-play room. So there is that room that is designated for that. And then there is also the dark room, which is actually just a dark room. And so I think that there is what's a great way to put that?
Fluid.
Yeah. You can't see.
You can't
so
see.
you
You
don't
don't
know who is touching who.
Right.
And so I have to say, I've never been in the dark room because it's not necessarily my bag. So I don't know what it's like. I've been in it when they're showing us around. Every time we do the tour, I go in there every single time to do the tour. But I'm sure I would suspect there's male on male contact there, but they do have a buy room available.
I think more to his point though.
Right. Yeah, they have
I think it's the bigger question is male contact accepted? And the answer is absolutely yes. And that's not universal across clubs and across events, but at Naughty New Orleans, it is, and there is a specific room. It's the bisexual room, and it's completely okay. So needn't worry.
And the ladies always do it anyway.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, so. Any other questions or things that you guys have? Please put them in the chat. I'm going to check my list here really fast to see if there's anything else that I want to make sure that we tell you all. So the goal is, if you're wondering or if you're on the fence about coming to Naughty in New Orleans, is there a question that you would like to ask about of us about whatever that is that's holding you back, or you're not sure if you should go? It can be a lot. It can be overwhelming. It can be, some people get nervous. It can be tough for folks that are a little bit more introverted. And I think, but that's a really good point, because these two are super introverted, slightly introverted, so not introverted.
That's what she's doing.
So, but the reason that we do what we do is so that folks can come together, and even the folks that are introverted, that are not as out there and as able to put themselves forward, there are ways that we can help you, and that you will feel comfortable, and you do show up knowing a group, and you are prepared, and we can tell you all of the different things, the way the agenda goes, what classes are great, things like that. So reach out, because there are opportunities. You shouldn't miss this event because you're afraid to go to the event. You should go because you want to go, and we can help you, things like that. So, Mantastic Sam, love that name, asked, what's the scale of the playrooms at the NOPSI? So, Kendra, I'm going to ask you to chime in if you're still around. The playroom at the NOPSI is going to be, it's definitely smaller. I think we have one main room, and we'll see if Kendra chimes in on this, but it has multiple beds in it. So it'll be set up like a group room, but I believe not as close knit, the beds. I think they're gonna be more spread out a little bit, with some draping and stuff in between them. And so hopefully Kendra will answer that question, but if not, she's had to sign off. So, we can also follow up on that if you need a little bit more serious information about that. But there will be playrooms. There will be playrooms at the NOPSI, absolutely. So, and parties at Colette, as far as we know, our fabulous friends, the Melfis that own Colette, have always offered us the opportunity to come to Colette during the week of Naughty in New Orleans. They offer a couple days that are actually free for Naughty members to attend, to go to Colette's, and then they offer some half price deals. I have not heard yes or no if they are for sure doing that, but they normally do. So I would suspect that they are. So we always try and hit on our free night. And so we love Colette's. Yeah. And so we've had the amazing opportunity to visit the one in Houston as well. So really, really fun. Yeah. But anyway, so yes, we expect that we will be able to do the Colette's thing again. Kendra just answered about the playrooms at the NOPSI, 18 beds. I think I said 16, so it was pretty close. Yes, with pipe and drape in between. Yeah. Okay. So it'll be set up. So it's one larger space. Oops, sorry, honey.
Sorry, I'm used to it.
Tristan on the back of the head. Yeah. You probably did something. You deserved it. So
I'm used to it.
Y'all didn't hear him being mean to me before we started this call. So,
Mean how?
I don't know. I'm just making it up.
Yeah, I know you are.
So,
so to change the subject, Godfrey says he loves our podcast. Thank you, Godfrey.
Yeah. This is what this looks like when we're actually doing the podcast. So, yeah.
She's always smacking me behind the scenes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a little bit of a different setup over at the NOPSI. But again, you have the opportunity to go back and forth between both places, and the shuttle buses will be running, and you can wear whatever you need to wear and go back and forth. And you don't have to be wearing your lingerie on the shuttle bus back and forth, but you'll be able to change, and there's bags and things like that to put your clothes in if you need to. When you get
I was going to say it's New Orleans, right? So
why wouldn't you though?
True. We walked around very scantily clad. Yeah. And everybody's like, have fun. We're like, we are.
Yes, we are.
So yeah. Kendra, thank you, Kendra. So for Colette's, it's one night of your choice will be free. Many of the attendees go on Tuesday so they don't miss the other naughty parties. Other naughty nights are heavily discounted with half price and things like that. That's what I was saying. So the same thing. So we've got the thumbs up that yes, the Colette deal will be happening. So you will have the opportunity to go either for free or at deeply discounted prices. So, oh yes, and that's correct.
right.
Yeah. So Colette, thanks, Kendra. So Colette opens on Sunday. They are normally closed on Sundays. And so they open only for us, and it's also a discounted price. So it's really cool if you're staying the extra night and you meet some folks. That's a great place to go because the hotels have all changed and they're going back to normal lives and things are turning vanilla-esque again in New Orleans. But we can all run over to Colette's and have one last time. So folks really enjoy that. So Sunday night at Colette's is another one to do for sure. Any other questions from you guys? You've been great about putting stuff in the chat. I will say that if you have concerns or you're not sure, you are more than welcome to reach out to any of us that you can find us on Instagram, or you can email us anytime and ask us questions about whatever situation or scenario that you're thinking about. The reason we do these calls and the reason that we get up here and talk about this is because we were the two people that we were like, if we don't do this, we'll never forget ourselves. But we were terrified. We had been in the lifestyle for like 3 months before we did this. And we kept saying, we are so dumb for doing this. We don't know what we're doing. We didn't even know what we liked or what we didn't even have our own rules and guidelines. And we screwed all that up anyways. That's why the podcast is what it is. But you all heard all those stories. That's because, we did. But it's important for us to make sure that you understand that there's support for you. So Wagner asks for the new attendees.
I'll take that one.
Okay. Do you advise? Oh, Tristan's fan club. All right. Do you advise to come very prepared with a spreadsheet, hi Tristan, of all the events we want to attend, or maybe play it by ear or just wing it? So Tristan,
this brings up one of those do as I say, not do as I do scenarios. So the very first year, and we talk about this in episodes 8, 9, and 10, that we literally we did exactly that. We planned out everything. We had all these classes that we wanted to go to.
Circled them on our paper. We had it planned.
And it wasn't just me. I mean, she was into that too. Typically it is just me that plans everything out. And so we did none of that. We just balls to the wall. And so what I suggest is a hybrid approach. And this is what we do now. And so this is what I do.
You're like on fire. Your whole face is lit up. He's like,
See, now he's talking.
clothing.
We have that too.
Our good friend.
I do believe that.
I do too. I do too. I have a sheet. I write it all down.
What outfits are we wearing?
And I'm pretty sure that was Nessa who just take that in there. So the answer is yes, plan, but also have a fallback and be prepared to be flexible and to let things roll. And I have gotten really good at that. I was not good at that for my entire life up till about 6 years ago when we started all of this. But now I've learned, so have a plan, but if the plan goes out the window, it's going to be even better. So,
it will, because you'll find yourself in a situation. It's like, oh my God, that was amazing.
How did I wind up here? I don't care. It's awesome. So go ahead and plan, and certainly pencil in all of our classes into your spreadsheet, and come to our bar takeover and come to all of our events. But also be prepared to say, you know what, we met this other couple over here. We're going to skip that accidental thing.
Screw you, Myrina and Tristan. We're out of here.
That's right. We're out, Myrina and Tristan.
We'd be like, you.
Absolutely, we would. We wholly support that.
Yeah. And I would echo that same thing. And I would say plan as much as you can plan, because I think that makes you feel better. I think it makes people feel more prepared.
It makes me feel better. Yeah, absolutely.
So plan what you think you want. So absolutely plan it, because then if you're standing around going, oh, look, there's this bar taker, or the one we went to yesterday, that was really fun, but we wanted to do these other 2 classes. And you're not just standing there not knowing, what do we do now? So you can say, oh, nope, we're either going to do this or that. So you you don't have to stop in the middle of your day and try and figure out, was there something we wanted to do or not do? Phoenixx reminded me, we do have, if you haven't been before, we have an app that's an event app. And this year we're using the Sketch app again that we used last year. But it's a whole app that once you sign into Naughty New Orleans and once the app goes live, you'll have access to everything that shows the schedule. It shows the party schedule, the workshop schedules, the bar takeover schedules, and you'll be able to go through on your phone and say, I'm interested in all these. And then you can even pull that up and say, oh, I was interested in 5 things at the same time. I better pick the one I want to go to, or things like that. So we actually have that available for you as well. So once you get into our system, once you decide to come, and when that app goes live, which is about, I think, 2 or 3 weeks before the event, you'll be able to do all that. And we'll list all the stuff beforehand as well. And Michelle, I did see that question. I'm so sorry. Thank you for asking that.
Oh.
Michelle asked, I'm sorry if I missed it, but what's Colette's? I'm so sorry. So yes, Colette's is a lifestyle club. It's a swinger club that's right there in New Orleans.
It's an on-premises club.
It's an on-premise sex positive club. And so, and it's literally, I would almost call it halfway in between the Nopsey and and Astor, the way like you kind of zigzag, it's kind of halfway in between. The Colette's in New Orleans is multiple stories. The downstairs is the bar and the dance floor. And then you go upstairs and that's where all the playrooms are. So it's a playrooms. There's a little movie theater. It's tiny. It's intimate. It's crowded. It's wonderful. It's sexy. It's hot. I love it because it's an old like New Orleans building.
I love the library.
Yeah, the library where the porn where the porn theater is, you know, but it's really neat. And so even just if you're attending New Orleans, if you're attending Naughty, go on the free night, just even go look. Same type of thing. Voyeurs are welcome. Voyeurs are always welcome, by the way.
Especially if you've never been to a sex club. And
and actually, that was our second, because we went to Eyes Wide Shut here in Tampa. But that was our second one. And we have really great memories of Colette.
We do.
It's episode 8 or 9. Yeah.
You keep talking about those episodes, babe.
Well, that's part of my job here is to plug. So,
well, or they can just listen to it for themselves.
I'm going to step back to the Sked app for just a moment.
Okay.
The other thing that I really like the app for is once your day has completely left what you scheduled and you find yourself in a bar, you say, well, what do we want to do next? It's really easy to just pick up the phone and say, here's what's happening in the next 2 hours. Pick one, go.
Right.
So it helps you get back on track when you kind of accidentally fall off schedule.
Right.
I think it's okay if you fall off schedule.
Oh, it's way okay.
Yeah, and that was a real turning point for me to fall off schedule in 2018 and beyond, because I'm a pretty tightly wired guy, or more so was than I am now. And this has been one of the things that the lifestyle has been amazing for me, is to say, I can kind of roll with things and have fun. And as mentioned, 2018 was kind of a turning point for me in that regard. And we got off schedule and it was fucking awesome. So.
And I said, see, not everything has to be on a spreadsheet. Swinger goals, Michelle. I saw that.
She's been telling me that for years. And I actually,
you're getting good.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty good. I still study the menu when we go out to eat, and I have a decision pretty much made. But now I'll call an audible at the line of scrimmage and change my meal plan.
Still, after having read this menu a week before, he's not lying. He really does that. Okay, Bogna asked another question. Can let's see. Oh, to solve back. Oh, well, that was a different one. I was going to the first one above that one, Nisha. Thank you.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. Yes.
The answer is
okay,
yes.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. Now I see why. Okay. So now another question. Do you like that the event is taking place at the end of June this time? Never been to New Orleans, so I'm not sure if it's better or worse weather-wise. So I'm just going to tell you.
It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. It's the swamp in fucking summer.
Yeah. We live in Florida, so for us, it's really no different. When you go inside some places, it will be cold. So bring something to put on. So that's just what happens. And drink lots of water, take care of yourself, especially if you're from up north and you're not used to the heat. But there's so much stuff to do inside. I mean, you've got all the bars and all the classes. Unless you want to be outside, you don't need to really be outside that much.
And honestly, I think the first 2 years that we went, it was actually at the end of July, which was really
It's
hot.
warm.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, those 2 years. And so last year it was more at the beginning of July. So
Yeah, it was
wasn't
right
as
around
bad.
July 4th the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And,
So this year being a week earlier, I think it's still New Orleans in the summertime. It may not be quite as bad, I think, in June. So that's great.
yeah.
But what and you know, I always tell the ladies, any of the ladies that ever want to know, like, well, what do I wear? And I'm telling you, you're in New Orleans. We all look the same. We're all sweating. We all have our hair up in ponytails, and we're all wearing, you know, the tank tops and whatever else that's just
Shorts,
comfortable. No one's really trying to look super cute or adorable during the day. We're just trying to be mostly naked and having a good time. So, so it's just it's gonna be hot. The other thing is that you tend to walk everywhere,
Mhm.
especially right down there. So,
Yeah, wear
which is
comfortable shoes.
yeah, wear comfortable shoes.
I know they're not sexy, but
Yeah. During the daytime, we really tell folks, I mean, it's not about necessarily being sexy and being gorgeous during the daytime. It's about going and having fun and meeting folks. And I will typically be wearing a tank top and shorts and my Birkenstocks with my hair up because it's too hot to wear it down. So, yeah, so that's about it. So I'm glad you said yay. Good. And thank you, Hump Day Quickies, for your heart
Yes.
smiley face. We love you guys.
Yes, we do.
They're
Love you
awesome.
guys. Anything else? Because I think we're coming up on an hour. If you guys have any other last minute questions, please make sure to put them in the chat. But is there anything else that we haven't really talked about?
No.
So, like I said, the goal here was really to be able to answer questions and talk to folks. If you're on the fence about going, or if you're signed up and this is your first year, to tell you kind of a little bit what it can be like. Once you decide to go, again, very seriously, reach out to Tristan or myself. You can email us. You can reach out to Naughty Events, and we will connect you and show you how to make the most of your trip. So again, once you sign up for the event, you'll get that 30-day membership for Naughty members. You can get in there, start to meet people, join groups, find other kick groups or other groups within SDC that are going, come to our group and meet people, and we'll do calls and we get together with folks before we even go. So our folks end up knowing each other before they even get there. And so it's just a great, fun way to show up at a party where you meet, where you already know 30 or 40 people that you don't even know that you know, but you know them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I'll say that in our group, we have people that this is going to be their 3rd or 4th time with us. And so, we're all really good friends now. And so
it's awesome to see everybody.
Yeah. We have so much fun with our people, and our people are fun. And
I look what our dear friends,
I
Hump Day
know.
Quickies, just asked, when are we coming north? We're hoping to. In fall. We're hoping to. Yeah, we're really, really hoping to try and do that
in
in
fall
fall.
colors.
Yeah. So, Russell, thank you so much. We
Thank you,
appreciate you
Russell.
as well. And everybody, thank you so much for showing up and for being here, for asking questions, for putting things in the chat. Seriously, do feel free to reach out to us anytime. We'll be doing another one of these calls in a couple of weeks, and then we will shift to a couple of the calls for folks that are attending, but you're more than welcome to attend if you want to attend those, even if you haven't decided to attend, not because maybe you'll come next year. But we do a couple calls where it's a little bit more like, here's what you're packing. Like I think I told you that, guys, at the beginning, like what you're going to pack, what you're going to do, not do, things like that. So we're happy to go through all of that with you as well. We want you to have as an amazing time as we do. And that's why it's so important for all 4 of us, because it's such an amazing event for us. We have such a place for it in our hearts. We want everybody to experience it as best they can.
Yeah. And I've alluded to it, but I mean, it was transformative for me and has been transformative for me over the years. And this event is just really near and dear to us. And
For us too.
It's a very
we
important
went
part
the
of-
first
of
year.
all of us.
We went the first year we started swinging, and we're like, well, we love New Orleans. If we end up not having a good time, we're in New Orleans. You're going to have a good time. But we ended up having the most amazing time. We love it. We can't wait to go back every year. We met these guys, totally changed our lives. It's just been an amazing experience, and we love it.
Yep. So there you go. Oh, and Michelle, we'll see you this weekend, Michelle.
Oh, yay.
I figured out who she was. She's the head of Tristan's fan club, at least right now. I can tell. She's aiming for title for this weekend. So I love it. I love it.
Challenge
We cannot
accepted.
wait to see you guys. We
Oh.
cannot wait to meet you guys. So thank
Yeah,
you. Thanks for
absolutely.
being here tonight. So thank you so much, everybody,
Thank
for
you.
joining us tonight. Please reach out to us. You can reach me at Myrina, Myrina at Accidental Swingers, Tristan at Accidental Swingers. You guys are your Swinky Life address. You want to give those up?
Phoenixx Phyre at swinkylife.com.
That's mine.
Your
Crimson
Dragonfly.
SwinkyLife.com.
Usually easier to find us on Instagram.
On Instagram,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's an easier way to find
Probably
us,
bad
but-
about checking my email.
Yes, but please reach out anytime with any questions that you have. If there was something that you feel like we should definitely address for the next call, please do let us know that as well. Again, we're just happy to get on here and tell people about an event that we'd love to attend. So thank you so much for being here. And we look forward to hopefully seeing all of you in June.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.